We are moving more things by truck rather than by air because borders are opening up in our region. So clients are also asking to go by truck, so there's less air movement, meaning you can be less of a polluter because of the difference. So we're taking all sorts of initiatives. We're also going out and planting forests because that affects your... the most important thing that we're going through now, which is very difficult, is to actually calculate our carbon footprint and know how much as a company that is non-asset based, that doesn't own assets. It depends on others who are also polluters. So it's not easy. But there is nothing better than taking a very ambitious goal and trying to hit it.
Thank you. Let's take some questions from the floor. So if you have questions, raise your hand. There's one over there.
Hi, Christine Bader. I work for the UN Special Representative for Business and Human Rights. As a world-class global company that clearly embraces world-class standards of corporate responsibility, how do you reconcile the conflicts between international standards and expectations regarding gender discrimination with the local laws and practices of women in the workplace in some of the countries in which you operate? So for example, do you employ women as drivers, and what percentage of your management teams are women?
I would love to employ women as drivers, but we don't have them applying. We actually have a couple only in the countries, but that's not the issue. The issue is not women as drivers. The issue is women. The issue is gender equality, and we as a company stated very clearly that we don't discriminate. We will not discriminate if even local laws, very local laws actually discriminate. It's a cultural issue of discrimination rather than the law of discrimination. For instance, in Saudi Arabia, you cannot have men and women working in the same. So that's a restriction. That is a restriction. But what you do is you actually create, for instance, if you want to create a call center that has women answering the phone, you will create a call center that has only women in it. So you need to adapt to the local, but as a company, we will not accept gender or racial discrimination in any way or form. We employ about 35 different nationalities in the company. Even though we are, if you want, an Arab listed company, 28% of our population is Indian and South Asian. So we are, by the virtue of our existence in these different countries, we have to be, we cannot discriminate. Because if I'm discriminating in Dubai, believe me, my India office will know I'm discriminating against Indians in Dubai. So that doesn't look good for me. Neither is it good practice in the first place. So yes, I know the issues you're talking about. If you read our sustainability report, one of our key targets is to have more women in decision-making inside the organization, and that is key for us. So 2 of the 11 senior managers in the company are actually women. So yes, and for a while we were thought of, because we're such a liberal company in the way we look at things, we were at a certain point looked at as not employing women that wear the headscarf. That's an issue we had. Just because we choose to be a bit liberal, but now you come to our company, you'll find people from all, but we never chose to not employ people with headscarves, but we never had them. But today, you know, you can't not be in a country and not have somebody that is scarved or conducting themselves, as long as when they're inside the organization, they adhere to the cultural values of the company.
Some more questions? Can't really see here.
They're all in agreement.
Oh, there's one there. No? It's hard to see.
My question is similar to Christine's. I'm Ellen Weinreb. And I'm also interested, because I don't know the Arab world as much as my own, if you had some other intersections between CSR and the Arab world. Like, are there some CSR cultural norms that you've developed that are kind of drawn from the Arab culture?
Yeah, Thank you for that. That's a good question. The Muslim world, let me just widen the story and say the Muslim world, and not only the Arab world, is very much, is a very generous world, very generous religiously. So we have what's called in Islam zakat, and zakat is a mandatory giving, but it's charitable. So I'm not against charity. One of the things I'm trying to do with some friends of mine is that to transform the concept of charitable giving into strategic giving. So there's a massive amount of giving, but we don't know what happens after the giving. So once it becomes strategic, then you know and you become accountable, and then you know exactly where the influence is. And you know who runs these organizations, because for a long time religious organizations were running these zakat organizations, so I don't know where that money was moving. Not that I'm worried about ideological issues, but I'm worried about how influential and how they are influencing these people. What sort of difference are they making on the ground? You need to be transparent and accountable, regardless of how you are giving. And that, when you transform that, what I call neutral giving, which is charity. I just write a check because I want to sleep well at night, because I am giving the poor, you know, I am a good man. I'm saying, yes, you can do that, but let's take it a step further by strategically knowing where this money is going and whether it is going into places that is making a difference where you want to make that difference.